What's up, guys? It is your girl Bernicia Renee. Welcome back to my channel. First things first, make sure that you subscribe and also turn on the notifications bell so every time that I release a video, you are notified about my video. And so I'm just gonna hop right in here. As you read the title, this is how to become a lash tech, and aka how I became a lash tech. It started January 2019. That is when I just magically I was like, okay, boom. It was a new year, everyone gets all frantic around the new year. She was asking for $100 deposit. I just went ahead and sent her the whole 300. The class was like the end of January 2019, like the 24th or something like that. It was on a Sunday. It was an 8-hour class. It was at a hotel in their conference room. I learned a lot of information in my class that I took, and I'm not going to tell you guys what I learned, because if you take my class, then you'll know what I learned. Because what's the point of having the class if I'm going to tell y'all here? But so yeah, I took the class. It was amazing. I learned a lot of information. As soon as I finished that day taking class, I went home to practice. I was in the bed practicing. I was up late night just practicing. I practiced, I know, for like 21 days straight, just on my mannequin, practice lashes, ordering more practice lashes off Amazon. I'm practicing. During this time, I'm also thinking of how to create this as a business. So I'm also looking up laws. I'm like, there's nothing on lash extensions when I took the class. I'm like, okay, what is going on? Like, come to find out that you have to be licensed in aesthetics, or you have to be a licensed cosmetologist in order to do said service, legally. Or if I were to want to open a spa or get a suite, I would have to show that I'm a licensed cosmetologist or esthetician in order to do so. No one cares what you do in the privacy of your home, because there's girls who've been doing hair all their life in their kitchen and they the bomb. So of course you can still do lashes at home. That doesn't mean that someone won't tell on you, someone won't report you, or XYZ. I'm not saying that, because it's possible. But what you do in the privacy of your own home is what you do, and we all know how that goes. So yes, you can be a lash tech without having to become a licensed esthetician or cosmetologist, but legally, you cannot perform that services, and legally you cannot, have a brick and mortar business or get a suite without it. So I'm looking at these laws, and I'm realizing this. I'm like, okay, I'm always by the book. So of course I end up enrolling in school in April. I went to Paul Mitchell, the School of Murfreesboro. I went full time. It was a 6-month program. When I started, we were in school from, I think, 8:30 to 5. And then I say maybe my last 30 to 50 days, they switched, and we were from like 9 to 4. Full time, it was Tuesday through Friday, 8:30 to 5. I did that from April to October. I also worked a full-time corporate America job on Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, 8 to 8. So I'm going to work 8 to 8, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and then I'm going to Paul Mitchell Tuesday through Friday, 8:30 to 5. From April to October, I'm in school, but while I'm in school, I'm also practicing. So like I said, here's the timeline. January, I take the lash class. Then by the end of February, I'm charging $25. By my birthday, which is March 24th, everybody knows, 3/24. By 3/24, I launched Bee Renee Beauty Lab, and I was charging $45 for class success. So that was my timeline before I got in school. Then by April, I'm in school. April to October, I'll talk about my school experience in another video, because Jesus, I got suspended and everything. So school happens, I graduate, 750 hours. You have to have 750 hours in order to become a licensed esthetician, which is not bad. That's why I did it, because I was like, if I do full-time 6 months, like, you have to sacrifice. There's things that you just have to do just to do, and it makes sense. And it made sense to do that. So I punched it. I was like, man, go get it over with. So it's over with. I graduate in October, and then I get hired on at European Wax Center at a front desk, because until you take your written test and you take your practical test, you're technically not licensed. So I couldn't go work in the back at European Wax Center because I wasn't licensed. So I spent the time that I was up front studying for my test, my written test. I took my written test. There's a video on here, so go watch it. I took my written test, and yes, I passed. And I was so nervous because it's like we learned so much information, and it's like any of that information could have been on that test. Not that I would have forgot, but man, we would have had to been refreshed on it, you know, just on a daily. And it was so much information. I had note cards like this big, this a stack of note cards of terms, definitions, and I'm just reading them. And then when I get to take the test, man, these questions are worded in the worst way possible, the most confusing way possible. So what I've been studying, I know what I've studied, but the way they worded the question is completely different from what I can relate to what I've studied. So a lot of the questions I feel like tripped me up because I guess I didn't keep an open mind about how the questions would be worded. I knew it wasn't going to be exactly what my study guide said, but I'm one of those like keyword persons. So, galvanic and positive, I can kind of put like things that go together with those two things. And if I saw it on the test, like, oh, okay, I remember these two being together, X, Y, Z. But the test was on a scale of 1 to 10, I say I'll give this test, it was a 7.5 on the scale of difficulty. 7.5. And I'm a smart girl. I'm an intelligent girl. I graduated with honors and everything, but the test, just the wording and everything, and 7.5 on difficulty. But so I passed that test. It was amazing. I felt good. I was happy. So from that point, I went a little more hard. I'm like, man, I passed. I switched the name. So it was Bee Renee Beauty Lab from the time that I got certified as an esthetician up until the time that I graduated. I had already switched to Bee's Beauty Bar, or really revamped to Bee's Beauty Bar. Yeah, I got fired from EWC. She said that she needed someone with availability, but I know otherwise. It was just, pretty black, dominant, strong female in her environment. And, some people just don't like someone that could potentially, just show them up, and that wasn't even my intentions. That's just who I am. I'm a very attentive, on time, headstrong female. I say, what's right. I don't allow things that are wrong. If you didn't come correctly, I'm gonna correct you, because I would definitely approach you correctly. It was things like the owner's walking in, and before she's saying good morning or good afternoon, she's complaining about something that I either have on, that I'm doing, something about the environment. And it's like, no, ma'am, it's 8 o'clock in the morning. I don't know what side of the bed you rolled off of, but I rolled off of a good morning. So good morning to you, ma'am. How are you? And then she would be like, oh, I'm great. And then she would still go into her little, okay. So every time I'm just correcting that, because, you have to treat people, I don't know. But that situation, I end up getting fired from there. I take my practical, I stall on my practical, y'all. I don't know why I stalled, man. Just the fact of having to do all that in front of people and they're watching you, it messed with my mind. But I end up taking my practical like 5 days before my birthday. I think it was like the 17th or 18th, and it passed with like a 96, either 96 or 98. I didn't miss many, and I was very surprised because there are people there that go to different schools, and we all learn the same thing, but we could have learned it in a different way. So you're told not to watch what other people are doing, but, we're sitting there talking to each other like, so what should we do first? We're all like, okay, we all learn some different stuff, but we all gonna do the same thing. Because if we all do the same thing, then it's like, they can't say that, oh, they all did this wrong. No, this is what we all learned. So we like, everybody's gonna wipe the mirror. Sorry, I ain't gonna say nothing else. But yeah, so we talked and we kind of got it together. But for the most part, we all learned the same thing. There were just a few minor things that, like, I didn't learn at Paul Mitchell that some other people had learned when in their school in Nashville. And it wasn't a major difference. It was just like little steps. And I implemented, because it's like, you can't go wrong with extra cleaning or extra sanitizing, you know what I'm saying? Extra anything is never wrong. Lack of is. So either do over, but don't not do just because you don't think. So that's advice for when you take your practical. Passed my practical, I'm excited. That is March of 2020, and as of that date, I'm actually legally, officially a licensed esthetician, and you pay to get your little certificate. It's on my wall in the other room, and since then I just have been going. I haven't been employed by any other company just because I'm not gonna say that that company set the tone, but it's just, hey, you know, work hard so that you work for yourself, so that you don't have to deal with people like that. I don't have to deal with an employer like that, you know what I'm saying? And if I were a owner, I would never treat my employees like that. So I'm coming from a spot of how I would love to be treated if I worked in an environment, and how I would treat my workers in an environment. So Bee's Beauty Bar is growing. I practice most days on my lashes. Would love to get into facials and back facials and minor waxing. However, you know, with Corona, you know, things are just here and there. You just never know. Whenever the opportunity comes up, I'm there and I take it. But outside of that, you know, I have a beauty room in my house. This was it, but now it's my bedroom. But I'm gonna redo the other room. It's gonna be even better. And I do lashes from my home, and you know, I'm just growing every day. I'm scaling. I'm now hosting lash classes as well. My next lash class is on Sunday, February 21st, and I have 2 people signed up. I only have 5 seats, so you know, to me that's amazing, and I'm excited for the 2 women that have signed up and are allowing me to teach them, and they're believing in, you know, the information that I have to give out is valuable for them, and they can implement it and become just as successful as I am. So I'm now doing lash classes. My next step in my beauty business with my lash classes to have all of my products actually customized, and you know, all of it to have Bee's Beauty Bar. I want to be a official lash supplier, so that is the next thing I'll work on. And of course, just continue mastering lashes, doing lashes, and then of course potentially being a suite owner, whether it's my suite or a bunch of suites where I give other estheticians, you know, the opportunity to have their own suite for, you know, booth rent, simple stuff. So of course I would love to scale my business, but as of right now, I'm doing what I can. I work from home. I do a lot of things from home, and we just get this money. So make sure you guys follow my beauty page. It's at Bee's Beauty Bar. Understand, Bees is B-E-E-S. Beauty is B-E-E-A-U-T-Y, B-A-R. Everything is wrapped around a bumblebee. So understand there's 2 E's in Bees, 2 E's in Beauty Bar. And thank you guys so much for watching my video. Sorry if I was a little everywhere, but that's just the gist of becoming a lash tech. How you choose to do it is solely up to you, whether you choose to do it from your house and have a select amount of clientele that makes you X amount of money as a side gig, whether you do it full time, whether you go full out and become a licensed cosmetologist, you do hair, you do skincare, you do lashes, or however you want to do it is solely your business. Nobody is to tell you what you can and cannot do, what's right or wrong. Whatever, you know, suits your life, do it. That is just the path that I took. I want to share with you guys. I know a lot of people are curious about how it works, and that was just the gist of it. And thank you guys.